Hello, today is Saturday, April 30th, 2022 at 6:48 a.m. So, guess I'm got no choice but to keep this video private because I committed blasphemy against the Holy Spirit for exposing this truth about narcissistic abusers and stuff like that. So, um And it's like, wow, when people start to act a certain kind of weird and funny and then tell you that they can't trust nobody and start to make like they don't trust you and you didn't even intentionally do anything to deserve their distrust, then you start to eventually feel like you can't trust anybody, or like you starting to feel like everybody is a perp not to be trusted. So I got two people to talk about, and the person I don't know that well, I'm gonna talk about her first because I don't know her that well, you know, and so I have less to say about her. But then the guy, I'm gonna, you know, it seems like I have in about a year and a half. Is it a year and a half? I thought it was 2 years. No, year and a half history, off and on friendship. So this person, all right, her name is Trisha Jerome, and she calls herself Fluffy the Narc Slayer. And it's kind of like initially I felt like, well, I've been off and on, feeling like, well, I don't want to allow anybody new into my circle because I don't want anybody to, you know, you never know. When it really does feel like as if other professed targets feel the same way, that, you, like as if you feel like, why does it seem like just about everybody is a perp or acts like one, and then it seems like as if you're forbidden to even question whether or not this is a perp. So this Trisha person, I'm really questioning her because I know she donated me, $280 altogether. Like once she donated 100, and another time she donated 180. And thank you for that, but I'm starting to question some things because I've had dealt with some perps who would donate money as a way to try to bait me in, and they have some exploitative, narcissistic, fake TI perps who are not really targeted, but they just want to pretend like they're anti-narcissist, and like they're a targeted individual that's anti-narcissist, but then they act like as if they want to you know use real targeted individuals who are suffering as narcissistic supply and play all kinds of mind games and stuff. And some of them will even hide behind the Bible or hide behind Christianity. And it's like, I'm tired of being forced to bite my tongue at whoever, not allowed to speak against anybody doing me dirty because I'm so wrong for, airing out people's dirty laundry or throwing it, quote unquote, throwing them under the bus or anything like that, you know. So it's like, it seems like certain things she said made me feel like, well, wow, she sounds like she's, a narcissistic abuser. And it's like certain things about her reminds me of that Illuminati and Lady Melinda and Lisa Ruby and a couple other people I can't put my finger on. And so it's like, I don't know if it seemed like she got like too familiar and too comfortable with me too fast. And I already told her several times, I don't like people eating in my ear while we talking on the phone, or I tell her all the time that I don't like people addressing me as girl or little girl. And I already told her I'm 38 years old, and she said she's 30, and she still addresses me as girl. And that really bothers me. But, you know, I'm wrong for, telling people what bothers me. Because, yeah, that makes people feel like, that, oh, can't nobody tell you nothing. Because I got to walk on eggshells for you and this and that, whatever. So, like, one time she told me, she told me that, gang stalkers can't kill us, or gang stalkers can't touch you or whatever. And on one of her videos, the Bluffy the Narc Slayer, I mean, how are you a narcissistic abuser, trying to make like you're slaying narcissists? But she just recently started to do videos showing her face, and it's like, I thought, well, wow, she looks so creepy and scary, you know. And she so happens to be in my hometown, but not from there. And, and I don't want to tell too much of, you know, but it's like, in one of her videos, I remember her saying that she doesn't really want to like publicly expose. Maybe I'm getting that mixed up, but she said something along those lines that she didn't want to be publicly exposing, the gang stalking all the time, because she tried to say she didn't want to give them that attention or whatever. But it seems like whatever she called herself trying to expose, it's like a couple of videos. It's not even like concrete proof. It might be just like a picture or something. It might be just like a little picture or something like that. But it's like, I'm sitting here feeling like, well, a picture and your face ain't in it a lot, or even if it's just a picture in your face. I mean, anybody could snatch anybody's picture and steal it for themselves, or have like a doctored up picture or a Photoshop picture, to make it look like as if they're really gang stalked. And so it's like, well, she didn't do like me, show a picture or video of herself being, I mean, more like a video of herself being like harassed or whatever. And and then it's like she didn't show a video of that, and then she because it's like somebody tried to get on me. I don't want to rehash that again, but that was 2.5 years ago. Over 2.5 years ago, somebody tried to talk about me being a fake TI and not having enough evidence. But then when I started to post my evidence, that's when everybody started to thumb down all my videos. So but it seemed like she told me at almost the last minute that she about to get an apartment or somewhere, her own apartment, and then you know, and it seems like like she's supposed to be getting her own apartment, and she invited me to come and move in, and she's like, yeah, because that, and which I know that 365, I know is too much, but it seems like don't be like Lisa Ruby and try to be opportunistic to take advantage of me. And then it's like, I feel like I do not even want to be entangled with or friends with anybody that's younger than me anymore. Even, and call me ridiculous, but you know, that's due to my trauma and abuse from foster care, which I explained that already. But it's like, I feel like skeptical and do not trust somebody who told me that, yeah, they believe the you know, that somebody who told me that they believe that they believe in that they believe in they believe in psychiatry. So the first argument we would get into, you know, well, she said she believes in the mental health system, but then trying to downplay it and say that she didn't believe in psychiatry and pills, but just talking to a therapist. And I'm like, well, they perp you and play all kinds of mind games too. The system is all connected, it's all together. So, you know, and it seems like I'm like, well, wow, if you're supposed to be a Christian, but oh, I'm watching a movie, girl, and stuff like that. I'm like, well, you still kind of conform to the world, and how you gonna be, the J word? I mean, no, I'm sorry, not you. You said your baby daddy, well, the guy who got you pregnant he got the V or the J, the shot, and then got you pregnant. And you said now, first you didn't believe he was a perp, now you starting to believe he's a perp. But I felt like, from what I heard about a pregnant woman who has had like the shot, I mean, I'm sorry, somebody who gets pregnant by somebody who has the shot. I mean, I heard that I heard that you don't even have to get pregnant. I heard that your blood changes too. So I'm worried about that. And then going back to, New Orleans, my hometown, going back to my hometown in New Orleans, and then hearing about how over 80% of the city, which is no surprise, is got the shot. So that's concerning to me, and that will make me feel scared. And then you say you're targeted, but you have like you said that you got like lucky and got a car, and the car is red. Like, what a coincidence there. you know but I mean, it seemed like I'm kind of feeling like a little like mentally trapped. Like, I don't know if she's a perp or not, and I'm kind of scared to. I said, well, please, like, let me think about it first. And she's like, oh yeah, okay, go ahead and pray about it. But I kind of felt like as if I had like a dead giveaway. Like, if you it's like and it's like you always talking about fasting, but like, how you gonna be fasting and you're pregnant? And it's like you you I don't know. It's like she doesn't have like enough proof for me to believe she's a real TI. You know, and I know people, they do it to mess with me, and they're trying to get me to, and I don't even know if she might be pretending to fake like she's offering to get me to sell out, you know, because if she, offered me to come stay by her, and I said, girl, yeah, that word girl again. Girl, I'll charge you just $50. I'm gonna do like the crackheads do, like the crackheads did me. I'm gonna just charge you $50 or whatever. And I kind of get the feeling that she also kind of treat me like I'm a little slow or like I don't really have sense, just like fake ass phony Tony H. And so so it's like, and certain things that Trisha said, like in her videos, make me feel like uncomfortable with like, and a few things over the phone I can't think of at the moment because I got barely any sleep last night, you know. So I haven't told anybody on YouTube, about her. I haven't told anybody on YouTube about, her offer or whatever. But, just, and then I even expressed to her that, I don't really feel comfortable living with others because I feel like, you're going to think I'm a nuisance and you're going to, I said I don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable in their own house. She's like, well, girl, I've been through so much, whatever, you know. So, I mean, I feel like I'm gonna have to just decline her offer, but I'm afraid that she might try to do videos about me, telling everybody don't help her and just doing just like everybody else, you know. So yeah, it's really concerning to me that I'm afraid that the first argument we get into, she might you know set me up to get locked up in a mental institution. So, I don't even trust. I'm not sure if it's like, but I don't know if I have to be just go ahead and I mean, because I know it's so hard for me to get help with the 365 and a week. And I feel like, well, I was able to do this on my own when I had the job. It was 300 a week. So, and when I had a job, I wasn't really asking anybody for nothing, only with the exception of that my stuff got stolen that time. So, um, so then it's like, yeah, I, I mean, I might have to just decline her offer because, like, my instincts are just, I'm feeling like I gotta go with my gut instinct. And then I've also expressed to her that I'm scared to go back to my hometown, New Orleans, because of, people associated with the Kraft family or the Kraft family members themselves, or people associated with my twin sister, might get mad and jump me, or I'm afraid I might get shot and killed. I'm afraid of something bad happening to me, you know. And narcissistic abusers would be like, well, it was very well deserved and stuff like that. So I'm going to talk about Darius now. So, yeah, narcissistic, gay, nefarious Darius. So, it's like, I already talked about how he led me on to think that I can just be open, free, and comfortable with talking to him about anything, without him being judgmental or using it against me. So he finally, me and him finally talked on the phone and try to talk out some problems yesterday. So we tried to talk out some problems yesterday, and he was trying to say, yeah, it's long overdue and stuff. And he tried to tell me, oh, well, I'm not that good of a communicator, and oh, just forgive me for that and stuff like that. And so, you know, so I mean, it seems like as if he, like, I mean, you know how people say eventually the truth will come out? But he's been hiding his true feelings about me all this time and having like a personal, what's the word? I don't want to use the word vendetta, but he been having like a personal, issue with me. And I really thought he was different from the rest. And it seems like as if, like, he tried to tell me don't go on your twin sister's page, and then eventually, I mean, he was pointing out to me the Illuminati hand sign she was using. And so later on, he ain't the only one. It's like a couple of times, like once the end of last year, like when we got back talking again, and it's like, if you're not related to me, who the hell are you to tell me not to look on my own twin sister's page, So, and so then I felt like, well, what a hypocrite that he admitted to me yesterday that he was watching her videos. And I'm like, well, no wonder I even told him directly, I said, well, no wonder you turned against me and started to think. He's like, no, I had these thoughts about you on my own, and nobody else interfered or whatever, or something along those lines, that he had that, those thoughts about me, because he even made it like and like me and him talked about narcissistic abusers all the time, and I even wrote an ebook about it, and he, made it like he was supportive of, of it. But it's like he didn't start to reveal to me until later on that he was feeling these certain feelings. Like, he didn't like, I figured, I mean, went into a depression, because I even told him it was the biological mom Francis' birthday when he, hung up in my face and then blocked me and stuff. And he tried to say that just like any other narcissistic abuser, he tried to make it like as if he actually flat out said that I was smothering him, or he feels like as if I'm very demanding about how I want to be treated and stuff like that. He feel like that I was smothering him and that he doesn't have any leg room or whatever. But narcissistic abusers, when they try to make it like, oh, you want everybody to cater to you, or you want to be treated special or whatever. But it's like, are you that angry that you can't treat me like a puppet on a string, or abuse me really the way you want to? And that's the reason why, or if you feel like you can't fix or control me the way you want to, so is that the reason why you feel like, and so it seems like as if I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but if he if he try to make it like as if as if I mean, I already told him, and he led me on to think he was understanding and like caring and non-judgmental, and then eventually he started to use what I said, like everything I told him, as a weapon, and start to think a certain way, just like everybody else. And it's like and it's like, wow, how did I not speak up against and put him in his place? He got out of line with me and was yelling at me and lecturing me again yesterday. But if he tried to tell me, oh, he wasn't a poor communicator, but it seemed like as if he'd been two-faced, cowardly, and scared, like a scared coward towards me. If he's been, gaslighting me and acting a certain kind of weird, And he keeps lying about that infection video, the victim or survivor video, and that's what got Pam Smith to turn against me. Pam Smith even knew he was talking about me. That's right, Darius. We all need to overcome. And then next, I saw she was on my twin sister's page, and she stopped commenting on my videos. But then she started to act like a perp and be like, "Well, what if I drive in a white car and wearing a red sweater?" And she's like, "Well, I can get rid of my red sweater, but I can't get rid of my white car. If you saw somebody like me driving down the street, would you think I'm a perp?" And stuff like that. But then she said, "Oh, I'm here for support for TIs, but I'm not a target." And then she tried to, lie and say she's Christian, but then she started to, act very much like a perp and making up lies on me too. So, for somebody to say that they're a spiritual warrior, why the hell you need to lie and gaslight like that? And I even told him before that victim or survivor, that video calling me an infection, I said that described how typical narcissistic abusers describe me to a T. And and that coincided with, after the first time he separated himself from me and just quit talking to me. And then 8 days later, it seemed like as if it would be like every 8 days, and then it went from 8 days to 2 weeks that he would quit talking to me. And I didn't even know he was secretly having like communication issues with me, or feeling like as if, if he tried to say that I'm very demanding, and but and Ramona, the biological sister Ramona, and Tony H and Miss Linda, from New Orleans Tower, who I used to call the Grease to Miss Linda, she was a narcissist, a fake nice narcissistic perp as well. If they feel like, well, I got to walk on eggshells for you or whatever. But, I felt like that victim or survivor video, I felt like, well, if it coincidentally, if it coincided with him, with Darius going all that time, not talking to me, and then I see that video, and then I have a panic attack and started crying and losing my mind, and then he swear up and down that video wasn't about me, and then said, "Girl, I told you were my favorite." And so I figured, well, I'm getting like conflicting messages here, and like you telling me one thing, and then as I said before, he like was slick and covert with a couple of times last year, like with the day after the Sky Zone situation, and then shortly before the first time when I blocked him, because he went from talking to me every day, and then eventually it seemed like as if he started to slowly but surely pull away the rug of supporting it. And I started to feel like, well, if he tried to tell me, to not do long videos, or that I should take my videos down, or I should, not use YouTube or whatever so much. And, yesterday he tried to tell me, oh, you can't, every time you get mad at somebody, you can't just abruptly and cut off all contact with somebody just because you don't like what they say. Well, if you ask, and he admitted that I said, I said the reason why I blocked you because I said you acted like you were disgusted and frustrated with me. He said, well, yeah, I was frustrated, but he didn't really much tell me why. Because he even started to change his opinion about me, and stuff like that. And it's narcissistic to feel like, oh, you don't want to go to war with me, or not to mess with me, or if he didn't tell me that directly, but if I see him saying, I mean, he didn't say that pertaining to me, but if he feel like other people, if he feel like they, know not to mess with him, or not to go there with him or whatever, like, because if he is not one to be messed with, that's narcissistic thinking. and certain tweets on Twitter, he said, not directed towards me, but generally speaking, certain tweets on Twitter that he would say were being like, you know, sound like it's extremely arrogant. And in his YouTube videos, it seemed like as if every time he gets on YouTube, it seemed like as if it's like an angry, narcissistic lecture towards, you know, society. You know. So yesterday, when I confronted him about why he blocked me, and just randomly mid-sentence like that, and he said that he thought that I was the one playing with him. But it's like when I have confided in a couple of people to, you know, tell them, you know, the way he acted towards me, you know, they say he sounds like bit by bit, you know, just like a perp. But then, you know, people, they you know, and it's like people have described him to be like, whoa, wow, the way he would yell at you or the way he would talk to you and stuff, he sounds very abusive. And yesterday, when talking to him, trying to talk out the situation, he acted like as if, you know, the way he talked and the way he acted and everything, it seemed like as if trying to reconcile with, like, after you had a breakup with an abusive boyfriend and then like an abusive ex that you're trying to talk. That's what it sounds. That's what it felt like as if I was, you know, talking things out with an abusive boyfriend, abusive ex-boyfriend that you trying to work things out or rekindle the relationship or whatever. And I'm sitting here thinking, well, I'm glad that, you know, nobody with a personality like him got me pregnant, or that nobody like that is you know, my baby's daddy or nothing, an abusive baby daddy or nothing like that. Then I'll have to, you know. But it seems like as if I thought that he was like a good friend and stuff like that. But yeah, it's like after I feel betrayed, and if you start to seem perp like, then I take it to YouTube and do a video, you know, about anybody who acts like a perp. So, you know, it seems to me that he don't seem like he's popular. Well, he doesn't have a whole lot of followers, but it seems like people pay attention to everything he says, you know. But you know, me on the other hand, I'm always getting ignored. So, you know, I know it would be something I'm not mentally ready for. You know, if he were to do a video about me and then be like, and then everybody defending and agreeing with him, and then I lose more support, and, you know, it seems like as if everything he says, like, he garners lots of, you know, attention, and, you know, everybody defending and agreeing with him. And I see they got certain people on Twitter who be kissing his ass and worshiping him like as if he got his own damn cult or something. And so, you know, and it seems like people be glad to support him, but nobody want to support me, you know. But I cannot believe that on Twitter, I'm sorry, I can't believe that yesterday he told me over the phone that he has to play, that he's sick and tired of having to play Trivial Pursuit with everybody. It seemed like he lumped me in the category of the other perps. And I told him I felt terrible because I felt like I would have never wanted to perp you or try to hurt you or anything like that. And it seems like as if he made me suffer because of what Crystal and Andrea did. And, if they were going, switching back and forth and being wishy-washy, but I've been consistent this whole time. And I didn't know. He never told me that I said certain things that triggered him, or, if he said that I did and said certain things that seemed perp-like to him. And how can you convince somebody that, I'm sitting here thinking that he's a narcissistic gaslighting perp, and he probably is, and using projection and just making me feel really bad. But the thing about my twin sisters, he admitted to me even yesterday that, oh, yeah, I watched some of your twin sisters' videos too. And so he's like, yeah, and there are two sides to a story, and I have a right to watch those videos. Like he said, very smart ass. I have every right to watch those videos. Like, well, if you knew she'd been perping me, why? Or just admit that maybe he was tempted to go and join her cult and start, participating. But he would have believed every damn lie, talking about there's two sides to every story. Well, you see, I'm the true T.I., and then he acted like he was questioning whether or not I was a real T.I. He even said that last year. But, he even acted like he switched his narrative also. And, just like my twin sister, I'm forbidden to bring up or talk about Aaliyah, or I'm forbidden to bring up or talk about, Stank Whore Lanika from the Smelly Crab family. But when I talk about other Crab family members, it seemed like as if certain topics I wanted to talk about, it seemed like as if it was off limits. And I'm like, well, wow, he's starting to seem like similar to the foster mom or my twin sister. And I'm like, well, no wonder then, because he'd been secretly behind my back watching her videos, and then came and recently confessed to me. I'm like, well, when I told him about the fake T.I. perp, the meth head fake T.I. perp Tony White, getting a new account and harassing me, he got mad and yelled at me, and didn't even give me a chance to explain that Tony got that he got another channel to harass me. And Darius thought that I went back on Tony's page to look at and I didn't do that. Tony created another channel to come and harass me. And he yelled at me, and it's like, and so when I tell somebody younger than me, I don't because I don't yell at you, and I don't lecture you. I don't yell at you. I don't try to tell you off about yourself or try to put you in your place. And I had to hear narcissistic lectures yesterday. And then Darius tried to, play psychological games, trying to say, I don't even know what a narcissistic, he said that yesterday. I don't even know what a narcissistic abuser is. I don't even know what a narcissistic abuser is. But he's a freaking religious narc. So, and it seems like as if he made it as if he had to alter his way of thinking or saying things in order to appease me. Yeah, narcissistic abusers, they always say that. And they reverse it on me and make it I'm the narc. But everything a narc does and says makes a whole lot of sense, and everybody's always defending and agreeing with them. But, if you're supposed to be, a believer, then, as I said, I even confronted him about that infection video. Now he vehemently, or I don't know if I'm pronouncing that word right, but he'll, deny that, he'll deny that that video wasn't about me. And I confronted him about that. I thought it was February 9th, but maybe it was February 3rd. But it's I mean, the video about I don't talk about family. I'm not going to sit up here like another TI and talk about family members. I have what's called loyalty. So, and I questioned him, was that directed at me? Oh, he tried to say, I don't even know what you're talking about. And then he tried to say, I wasn't talking about anybody specific because there are plenty of TIs I talk to. I'm like, well, wait a minute. You lied to me and told me that I'm the only TI who you talk to over the phone. He told me that quite a few times. Or that he told me that he ain't talking to anybody except me. And there was a point in time when he was trying to tell me that he didn't trust anybody except me. So now falsely making it like as if, as if I'm the one who's perping him. And the gang stalkers do, keep hanging up the phone. Like if I'm on the phone with another person, or they'll mute the phone, or they'll play with the buttons on the phone. Like they'll hack into the phone and play. And so it's like the gang stalkers, they're getting the pleasure that they want to see two targets not be able to get along, and they're fighting and then falsely accusing each other of being a perp. But sometimes one might be a perp, or both might be a perp, or neither might be a perp. But, and then he narcissistically glorifies himself as having the best spiritual discernment in the world. And, so it's like, well, I'm sitting here thinking that if you really had true discernment, that you would know that Candy Grandpre is not practicing witchcraft, and you know that Candy Grandpre has, never been initiated, and you know that I'm not a perp. So he talked about before, talking about, wanting to come and visit me, and he said he wanted to see that nice pretty water, at the beach, and wanted to come visit Pensacola. But then now he tried to make it like, oh, well, you invited me to come, to Pensacola, and he tried to falsely make it like as if, I'm one of the people that wants to try to perp him and make money off of him. And it's like, damn, because I never got compensated. I never been initiated. I don't perp anybody at all. But they had some moments where I felt like he was perping me, or gaslighting me, or, stuff like that, And then yesterday he had me scared the whole time. And then he tried to say that, he tried to, one of the first things, it's like, when I questioned him, I said, he was all nice and normal until I questioned him about why he blocked me. And that's when a light bulb switched, like a personality change, and he just got aggressive like a Rottweiler and started, barking and yelling at me and condemning me, talking about you being so scared all the time. Yeah, you be the first to take a bribe with the right amount of money and stuff like that, And it's like, if that was the case, I would have been sold out. I'm still fighting against them trying to get me. But there are people who tell me that certain things about Darius, the way he treated me, that they say that he sounds like he's been compromised, that he's either always been a perp or that he's been compromised, that he's been compromised against me. And it sounds like he has, especially if you admitted that you're listening to my twin sister. If you know that's, and it seems like certain traumas I've told him, and seem like as if he'll use that as a weapon against me to think he can punish me. And then he wasn't all the way honest or straightforward with me. Like when he would tell me, even towards the end of last year, oh, Candy, I know I would go times without talking to you. And he said, well, forgive me. And then he said that, oh, sometimes I just shut down and don't want to talk to anybody, so forgive me. But, now the truth is coming out that, I really think if he might be the narcissistic perp using projection, who sold out and is using projection, and he might be a freaking Mason. Because if people feel like as if they can't attack me or if they can't hit me the way they want, oh, I'm walking on eggshells. If they can't, like, try to boss, control, and overrule me, and it seemed like he was just pretending to be fake nice all this time. I mean, if I want people to walk on eggshells for me because I say my ears are sensitive, or if I say, well, if you say this, well, it will re-traumatize me all over again, or certain words or trigger phrases, or certain words or phrases, and then people be like, well, wow, everything everybody says offends you, and that's like narcissistic abusers who are mad at me that they can't mentally hurt me and torment me like they really want to. That's like if you get into a fight with somebody and they feel like they're mad because they couldn't hit you where they wanted to hit you. So, and he tried to confront me about the video. Oh, you did a video about me and Tony H. He's like, yeah, and you have a large following. And so it's like, I'm like, well, fine, I'm sorry, So, but it's like he walks around like he thinks he's the smartest person on this earth. And it's like he feels the need to always use advanced vocabulary. Like, who the hell does he think he's trying to outdo or impress? And it seems like as if he's been, just fake and not genuine. If he just wants to pretend to sound fake smart all the time, And I can tell, I know that he thinks that he's more mature than me, and that he thinks he has more sense than me, and that I'm pretty much childish and need to grow up. I know he feels that way, So I even told him directly that, the victim or survivor of that infection video that you did, I said, well, that prompted me to write the Let It Go ebook about the PTSD, So it's like, I never been initiated, and I don't perp anybody. I never got paid to do anything offensive to anybody, And it's like, did he become, damn, they causing me the hiccups. Did he become one of those professed targeted individuals that make like as if one crumb of food that you eat, oh, that automatically means that's proof that you sold out? And it's like, I'm wondering, well, wow, does he think that I sold out because I'm in a motel room? I'm asking people for help, and it's professed targeted individuals who have donated, or people who say that they're Christian, But, how the perps play games and say that, well, they're making like as if they're not going to give me anything until or unless I join them. And it's like, well, I don't want nothing you got. But he tried to tell me it's okay, go ahead and accept donations from even the perps. And then he tried to say, well, yeah, because sometimes God will use our enemies to bless us. So don't even, he even said that in New Orleans that he had to, accept food and stuff like that from perps when he was homeless, or money or whatever. And he said that the food or whatever would be tainted or whatever, So, because I felt reluctant against, accepting money from perps or evil people, or anybody that's part of that network. And and somebody try to be like, well, that $200 that lady put under my door, they're like, oh, don't take it because it's people were like, don't take it because it's a bribe. Well, who do I give it back to? And that was back in December 2020, when that fake private investigator found me at that extended stay hotel. Like, how of all places did you find me there? And then, I wanted to say that Darius tried to, he kept yelling at me and lecturing me again yesterday. And then try to say, well, you can't block all contact with somebody every time somebody tell you something you don't like. Well, you're the one who acted like you were frustrated and disgusted and sick and tired of me. And he admitted that he was frustrated. Well, there's no need for us to talk. And I feel like if we have to have just communication limited towards Twitter, then I said, well, if we have to have communication strictly on social media, then I would rather not talk at all. But then again, I told him about the unwanted intrusive thoughts and everything. And then yesterday he confronted me. He said, yeah, and you're talking about me, mixing Pentecostal and Black Hebrew Israelites. And do you think I'm a charlatan? Do you think I'm a charlatan? And he kept raising his voice and demanding an answer. And it's like, wow, he got me again. It's like, why didn't it cross my mind to snap back at him or say, hey, don't be talking to me like that. Don't be yelling at me. But he does not care, disrespectfully and abusively does not care that he's younger than me. But he acknowledged that, oh, I know I'm younger than you and all that. But he wouldn't dare talk to Miss Deborah like that or anybody else who he said perped him. But he tried to say, oh, you need to consider me as a rarity of a friend. Because normally people don't really forgive people like that. And you ought to consider, and he's like, not that I'm anything body special, because I'm not. But you ought to consider me as a rarity of a friend and stuff like that. Like as if I didn't deserve for him to forgive me. But he did me some dirty stuff too. And then try to say, well, oh, forgive me if you felt like I've hurt you. But then I said, well, you feel this way about me and you did this or that to me. And then he tried to, make it like as if he's unapologetic and like he won't change. Like as if, and then he went to turn around and telling me that he missed our old conversations and stuff like that. Well, you're the one who decided to betray me.